Hello everyone and welcome once again to my YouTube channel. My name is Stanley and I'm the founder of Stan Analytics. And in today's video we're talking about data cleaning in R programming. Um, Specifically talking about checking the data description, handling missing values, converting data types, selecting and filtering variables in R programming. Now, what is data cleaning? Data cleaning is the first stage of data analysis. It is the process whereby you prepare your raw data. Raw data means that a data that has been freshly collected, either primarily or secondarily. And what do I mean by primarily? Primary data is the process whereby you, um, you know, um, download the, for example, where you like distribute a questionnaire for customers to fill, or you like draft out a questionnaire online, or you like give people information to fill. Like the data set that you drafted by yourself is called the primary data, whereas the secondary data is the data that you got online from other people's research, and you try to use the data set to make your own research as well. So that raw data, both primary and secondary data sets are actually raw data as to you. Just that sometimes it's easier to work with secondary data sets because it might has been processed and cleaned by the previous researcher. So moving on, raw data sets, so it becomes accurate and consistent and ready for the analysis, because without data cleaning they're going to be getting some unrealistic informations, and it doesn't really work well for our data, for our business or anything we want to use the data sets to analyze, because it will allow us to make some wrong decisions and inaccurate conclusion. So moving on, first you have to check the dataset description, and like I've always been saying in all of my videos, for us to start working in R programming, you need to know the appropriate packages to work with, as R programming cannot really work without us installing some packages in R programming. And I've said some like dplyr, ggplot, tidyverse, and all other ones. So I'm going to start with installing tidyverse. So install .packages. So I assume that we've all known what this tidyverse basically does, because I gave us an assignment in the previous class to go and go and make your research on every packages that you know in R programming, and tidyverse is one of the most popular packages, so you should basically come across it. So I'm going to pause the video while it loads. Then we'll load the package and we'll write library tidyverse. Okay. Right. So you can see these are the packages that come with the tidyverse. More like a sub packages. Then you load the major package that we need for the data cleaning. And also this packages that we load contains some inbuilt data sets in R programming that you might be needing. And to check some inbuilt data sets in R, just write data and press enter. It's going to take, so these are the data sets that we have in R. So we are going to be working with the starwars data set, and that takes us to the data description. So to check the starwars data set, press a comma and click on starwars. So you can see it is the starwars data set. And what does it talk about? The original data from Swappy, the starwars, this is the website that takes the data set. Usage, so it contains 87 rows and 14 columns. Okay, then these are the attributes of the data set. Contains the name colon, name of the character, height, mass, hair color, skin color, and eye color. You can actually view it as well. So I can view starwars. So you can actually view it in a more, so you can see that there are some missing values indicated by NA. So Moving on, allowing taking us to the section whereby we have to like undo the missing values. As you can see here that if you go to the air color, you are going to be seeing some missing values. And missing value, what it does is, since you don't have all the categories of the missing value, it might lead us to getting some inaccurate results. So one of the best ways to undo missing values is basically removing those values from our data set. So it's going to be like if they never existed, or replacing it with an average value. For example, if it's a quantitative value, you might replace the quantitative colon with an average value, or replacing it with zero. For example, look at this mass. You can see it's a quantitative colon as it contains number. So one of the best ways to handle all this NA is either replace it with zero, or remove it from the complete from the colon, as if they never as if they never existed. Or we can actually replace it to the average of this average value of all of them. So moving on. So before moving on to the missing values, another thing to check is the structure of the data set. So it's going to check the data type. So to do that, you need to press so str the data set. Consider majority of them, all of them are characters. So we can, before handling the missing values, we can change the numeric data set to, okay, we can see that height is an integer. Okay, fine. Mass is a numeric, and birth year is a numeric. It's supposed to be a date, but let's check the data sets and check the birth year. Okay, it is not stored in a date format, so let's leave it that way. Okay, so you can see I'm only going to be touching the height, the mass, and the birth year. So you can see that height has 6 missing values, mass has 28, and birth year has 44 missing values. So what next? I'm going to remove those missing values. So proceeding with that, I'm going to, or better still, instead of removing the missing value, I'm just going to convert it to the means, like I said. So I'm going to rename the variable as starwars underscore clean. So we'll be working with starwars underscore clean in our later videos, instead of working with ordinary starwars, and I'm going to use the pipe operators. So I need you to make a research on pipe operator as well, then this mutate function as well. So I'm going to run this code. Then, like I've said, the starwars data sets, I'm going to convert all the categorical variables from characters to factors. Like for example, skin color, eye color are characters. I'm going to convert them to factors. As you can see here, that if you scroll, okay, better still, let me just write the code. So for example, if you want to check the data type of a specific colon, you just have to do str, then the data set name, then use the dollar sign, and for example, let's use eye color. It's going to show me character. You can do the same for every single any other variables we have. So I'm going to change them to factors. So as you can see, I wrote starwars underscore clean. This as factor is for converting it to a factor. Then the data set name, and for example, and the dollar sign for selecting the data type as well, the data the variable as well, sorry. Then to check it, I can do a class function and the same procedures, starwars underscore clean. Okay, so there's an error on saying that it's invalid for atomic vectors, but because of I renamed the variable, I renamed the data set, so let's stick with the old version and let's run this. And instead of starwars underscore clean, it's going to go back to starwars. So eye color. Then I'm going to check for the class. I'm going to check for the class of the data sets. Better still, let's do it this way. Starwars underscore. Okay, I'm coming. Okay, so what to do instead is to use this starwars underscore. This particular, I know it might actually be like confusing at first, but this particular code here is basically for us to like refresh the data set if there was an error, because the as factor we used earlier basically reloads the data set and like confuses everything. So what to do instead is to use the mutate function. So then now you can now check the structure of the data sets. So you can see it's already a factor as contains 15 levels. Okay, so another thing to do is to select variables. It's more like, for example, I only want to select, we'll be doing it basically, but it's just like instead of selecting just one column, I want to select like 3 columns. For example, I might try to select only the air color and the height and everything from the old data set and really choose to work with that. So to do that, I just have to do so I'm going to select, the name and height only. And height. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to use the pipe operator. Starwars. To use the pipe operator, I'm going to press Ctrl Shift M. Then I'm going to use the select function. Select height. In the majority of my code, it will be using pipe operators a lot. So that's why I'm emphasizing on the fact that you need to go and understand what pipe operators is. It's basically an easier way to write your code. So select height, what other things do I need to select? Name and ends with let's choose color. Then my pipe operator at the end as well. So I want this. Okay, so there's an error. Replace it with an S to be names instead of name. Okay, so so we can see this is height, name, and these are different variables that end with color: hair color, skin color, and eye color. And then as a reminder, this is different from this. This is selecting the variables. This particular code here is basically allowing us to see all the different data sets in that column. For example, if I run this eye color, you can see this are the different type of eye colors. So and if I run this, for example, let's change this to eye color, it's not going to display it's only going to display the different eye colors. It's going to display the eye color column, sorry, and the different air color. This one is talking about the colons, and this is talking about the different values inside the colon. So I hope you understand it. I just thought to note that. And next, we're talking about filtering in R programming. Filters are the same thing, whether in SPSS or in SQL or in Python. They all perform the same functions, and I'm going to show us how to do that. Better, so let me do it this way. Since we're working with variables so long enough, and I've talked about variables, so filtered star was its variable, and we are going to this divide operator. We are going to filter air colors and all these different type of colors, blonde color and brown color, and heights which are less than 180 degrees. So we are going to click on it, and next we are going to view the data sets. So it might not really show very well here, but I'm going to click on view, and so you can see basically the heights are less than 180 according to our codes, and you can see we only filtered blonde and brown color air colors. So you can see these are the two things we actually filtered. So thank you very much for watching, and if you have any questions, obviously you're going to have some questions, you can reach out to me via my YouTube or my WhatsApp channel or my WhatsApp number as well. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day. I'm also going to be sending a copy of my code as well for us to be able to better understand the section of the class. Have a wonderful day and good night.